Welcome to a brand new episode of Pokemon Duel. Massive, major update. We are going to be going through every different aspect. We're going to be looking at the Mega Evolutions, the new rarity UX figures that have been added, new item Carbonite that allows you to level up to level 10. Now that's adding 5 more pieces to your disc. We have halls that are a new function that will enhance room matches, which is needed because room matches are boring. A new league has been added, and this is quite funny because one of you actually suggested in the whole, future of Pokemon Duel, the Legend League, and we've got the Legend League. That's been added, plus 3,000, and they give added rewards, better chances of getting Carbonite. I'm already post 3k at 3195, so I'm hopefully going to be pulling some of them from the time boosters. We're going to be going through the deck cost cap as well plates, so the new plates that have been added, how they're going to shake up the game, and all the new figures that have been added. I will probably be switching some of this, splitting some of this into sections. So if I'm thinking about it, this is going to be about just going through the update, the hype about some of it, and looking at the new figures. I will be putting out a further update on, gameplay, playing some league matches. We've got playing the new hall matches and playing some, it's not even a game, booster pools. There's definitely got to be a section on booster pools. New figures. UX is at 0.30, rarer than EX figures. Wow. So without further ado, let's get into the updates. Now you'll read through it, you'll have definitely read through these, but let's just go through them and talk about how they're going to change the game up. So apologies for extended maintenance. I'm not too fussed about extra 2 hours that was added on or whatever, because it gives us 20 gems. I'm happy about that. Then we've got, it talks about the plates. We've got Burn Heal and Ice Heal, so they could be quite helpful in your deck if you need to heal without wasting a go. They just heal the burn and ice, obviously. Then Draco Power, which is like your Meadow Power. This just gives a 20 damage to your Dragon type until one of your opponent's Pokemon is knocked out by a Dragon type Pokemon. Cost is 2 and your turn ends once you've used it. It's not going to be a great effective disc. The Meadow Powers and other powers, I've never seen anybody use them. They're just that ineffective and not worth the 2. So we have new plates though in the form of Eon Flute. Eon Flute. This is quite a cool plate. During a duel, this plate can be used when your Latias or Latios is excluded from the duel. Now, Latios or Latias will then appear on your bench, and you can use that figure. The Pokemon is excluded from the duel then only when your next turn has ended. So you could pull it on the plate, pull it out. This is the way I see this being used is you have. Somebody's attacked your goal, you have position, you got nobody on your bench, so they put themselves in a vulnerable position. You pull Eon Flute, Latios comes out of the back from death exclusion and then gets the surround, and then maybe the next attack can still have a chance to take somebody out. So it could be used tactically in that form. Remember, we have 8 plate spaces now, so whilst that may be risky to have that in terms of it might not get used some of the time, it could be, having that backup of 2 means it doesn't waste too much space. Then we have, as we thought, the plates that need to be used to evolve your Megas. So we've got Charizardite X, Charizardite Y, and Beedrillite. We do not have a Salamence. Salamence was in the trailer for this, but they've left him out. Maybe because they're just working on him, maybe they're saving him from a later. But there are going to be plenty more UX figures as well. So we have Charizardite evolves into a Mega. These affect only for 7 turns. So you can choose Unfilled and Mega Evolve it for 7 turns. I imagine because it doesn't say your turn ends, you can then use it. So tactically this is going to be brilliant when we look into those figures in a bit more detail. Next up, we have announcement of a major update. So even further updates coming up in the future, and what we've got a list of here now. So obviously Mega Evolution, UX, new item will enable you to level up to figure 10, that Carbonite. Halls, the deck cost cap has gone to 8, a new league has been added, Legend League, and other increases have been made. So future plans, things that are going to be coming up in further updates, is a new team event, new event called Team Match. That's where we get to choose our, Blastoise, Charizard, or Venusaur. But also we've got figures from Sun and Moon joining. Now this is exciting, but also kind of frustrating, because telling me about this, it's like, oh, I kind of want to save all my tickets and all my gems for that, but I really also want to pull an UX figure to test it out. So Mega Evolution is here, of course. It will, during the duel, you'll use your special plate to evolve a figure into Mega, and in order to Mega Evolve, you need to prepare in advance of the duel by setting the figure into which it will Mega Evolve. So you have to have pulled the figure, which there was a bit of speculation about whether you would need to pull it, and you do, and it's even more rare than an EX figure. If specific conditions are met, such as after a number of turns, Mega Evolution wears off and the figure returns to its former state. So you can see help for any further explanation, but it's pretty simple. New rarity of UX figures are here. These are the Mega figures. New items. So Carmenite evolves. It allows you to boost up to level 10. I'm really excited for this because level 5 seemed like you could get figures, but I always wanted to level. I want to grind my Zapdos further to make it even better and get that experience, something to put it into. Level 10. Going to be interesting what the ranges are once we get Carmenite. We'll probably be looking exactly what that is, and I'll inform you guys what the level changes are. You can use Carmenite to power up to level 6 or higher. So that means 5 allocations to your disc. That's going to eliminate some of the misses on a lot of figures completely. Figure like Zapdos has 8 miss once at level 5, so we're going to make it to 3, which is pretty exciting, and I'm going to make that yellow disc even bigger. Holds are a new function to make room matches even more fun. Great, room matches are boring and having to do that daily challenge where you just try and find the weakest person. They've added this. So we've got Aquamarine that has started this week, where you've got to use all unique figures and follow the certain conditions. So this time it is you cannot use Virizion, Reshiram, or Zapdos. You have to use all unique figures, and you cannot use Gold Block Plate. So they're the conditions in which you have to play in these conditions, and they will have ranking. We'll look into that a bit more detail in a minute. 5, having fun dueling and a wider range of. So in addition, we've had the 2 extra plate space. There's a new league to enjoy. Anything above 2,400 will be able to pull Carmenite out of time boosters, and the Legend League for post 3,000 players. I'm so glad that's been added. It needed to. And we've got what looks like a new booster there, doesn't it? That looks like an elite booster, or I'm gonna call it elite booster. Wait, so we've got gold booster, rainbow booster, platinum booster. I'm calling it. It's called platinum booster. It's just a guess, but we'll see what it is. Other increases: figure box cap doubled from 1,000 to 2,000. Whoever's got that maxed out to that already, you have too many gems. Team event coming up, and pre-register for the team event. So choose that for the future, and figures of Sun and Moon coming soon. Few more things. They've got a lot of announcements. A special login bonus. Awesome. Make sure you log in each day to get that login bonus. Usually consists of gems, sometimes figures, sometimes rare cubes. So it'll be interesting to see that. Maybe hopefully get some Carmenite. Major commemorative sale. So the great offer at the $8 for 876 gems. That usually costs 40 quid. So love a little bargain there. They've also added the one purchase of plus 50% bonus, which I'm not sure I'm going to be purchasing because that's still crazy expensive. Next up, we have the last 2 announcements is the new rarity figures and other figures that have been added are Avalugg, Pangora, Bergmite and Pancham. So we have also figures made available: Giratina, Rayquaza, Latias, Latios, Suicune, Articuno, Noivern and Charizard. Only Suicune that I need in that, so I'm not happy about that in terms of for me pulling my figures and using my tickets. I honestly, I'm really undecided how much I'm going to invest in this. I'm hoping to pull a UX figure early on. So we also have the new 10 booster pack is back. so you can have a guaranteed chance of a EX or UX figure. So it's not going to be great odds of pulling your UX with the amount of EX figures that are in that. I'm going to have a little bit of a workout on some maths when we pull the boosters, so you know exactly what your chances are of getting one of those figures. So where do we start? So this is going to be about just kind of looking at the figures and assessing how much of an impact they're going to be making. And it's big. It is big. First to note, before we go into these things, is these new figures you can purchase. They will cost you 5,000 material, which is a very fair amount for what they can do. They each have 2 MP, only Mega Beedrill having 3 MP. So I mean, you evolve that and you can make some quick moves on your opponent. So you can purchase them. I think I'm just a few pieces of material off. 30 material will get me 1,500 and 1,000. I'm like 250 material off if I spent all my gems and opened all my boosters. Actually, no, 150 because I've got 32 boosters. So boosters, I have 32 singles. Now the singles differ from the special packs, but again we'll look at that a bit later, in that they have different contents. But what we want to look at is these new figures. So we have Mega Charizard X. So like Fire Spin, it has the same attack, especially though on top of that giant disc. If you spin again until Burnt Flame until it does not land. Additionally though, all adjacent Pokemon can be burnt. So if you hit this and you knock them out, and even if you don't knock them out, you don't have to knock them out, it will burn other adjacent Pokemon, so you could really affect and damage teams. Backdraft a massive 120, move the battle opponent and opposing Pokemon adjacent to the battle opponent to the PC. Now, I would assume that if you do get the Charmeleon evolve into Charizard, that might become 130, but we will test that out if we pull the figure today. Also, it has ability of Inferno Ladder, which is massive. When this Pokemon appears as a Mega Evolution, remove the frozen condition from all your Pokemon. Okay, so a nice good counter to a frozen deck. Pokemon knocked out by the attacks of this Pokemon are temporarily removed. When you're retooling from the duel, return to the bench 7 turns later. So if you pull it and you attack, that's 4 attacks that you're going to get. So on your turns, you got 4 turns that you can make where they're going to have their Pokemon excluded from the battle. So if it's 4v4, if you knock one out, it's then 4v3, and you've got 3 other goes to keep going whilst they have no other Pokemon to pull out. And only at that point will they, once it ends, you've had your 4 turns, will they return. Additionally, if that's not already strong enough, your Fire-type Pokemon deal plus 10 damage, and your Dragon-type Pokemon deal 10 damage. Being that it's a Fire-type Pokemon, the Mega Charizard should in effect have 130 already, and maybe Bright Flame will get an additional 10 on top of what it is. We've just got to pull it to test it, don't we? So, Mega Charizard, we have just different in the fact that he has Flashover instead of that 120 attack. The battle opponent and opposing Pokemon adjacent to it become burned, and those Pokemon also gain 3 weight. So if you think about it, at a point where, you know, if you are 4v4 and you get this evolve, you could potentially, you know, pull this, inflict 3 weight on a whole team if they're all connected. Also, you could, you know, inflict weight and then try and burn the other 2, and then, you know, get an actual pull a flame energy and inflict weight. So we could see. I'm still waiting for the weight wins to come into effect, and this may be the time. This Pokemon also can MP move fly over the can move to fly over Pokemon on the field that don't have Soar, so that's cool. Move opposing Pokemon surrounded by this Pokemon to your PC. Opposing Pokemon surrounded by this Pokemon to your PC. Fire type Pokemon deal plus 10 damage and flying type as well. This move opposing Pokemon surrounded to this Pokemon to your PC. Am I reading that right? Like, so if you do the Mega Evolve, opposing Pokemon surrounding it get moved into your PC, knock your Pokemon out of your PC. So in effect, if you're 2 people surrounding it, you're on a 3 spot, and you mega revolve, 2 go to your PC, you pull out, all of a sudden it's 6 on 3. If that's the way it works, that's insane. Insane, and I want to pull that one. Finally, we have Beedrillite, who I was really worried about this because I thought Beedrill is a terrible Pokemon. It has the biggest miss in the game, and I thought, you know, if you're gonna evolve it, this Mega better be good. It better be like the best goddamn Mega I've ever seen, and it has a hella good effect. 3 MP for a start is a great figure to have. 7 turns means you got 4 moves in effect with 3 MP. And then it has Twin Needle, and I saw that and I thought, wow, Twin Needle can only do 80 damage, right? So it's no change there. Spin again, if the speed of the needle it deals 2 damage. So in effect, that can only do 80 damage. I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, hold up, Mega Beedrill ain't that good. Abilities. When this Pokemon is on the field, the misses become the battle opponent becomes noxious. Okay, so those misses, that 12 miss, now actually has a great effect. Then we've got your bug type Pokemon deal additional 10 damage and poison type deal 10 damage, so in effect he might do 90. But then here's why the rest isn't great. Pow! Poison Shock. If this battle opponent is poisoned or noxious, exclude it from the duel. Exclude it from the duel. If the Pokemon is not poisoned or noxious, the battle opponent becomes poisoned. You got 4 turns to keep trying to hit that Poison Shock. In effect, with double chance, you're going to be hitting that. It's 1 star, yes, but if you see some white disc figures, you know, with those big discs, like, you know, your Deoxys, like Leaf Blade on Sceptile, these figures could get knocked out by Mega Beedrill. But it does mean you have to have Beedrill in your deck, and Beedrill sucks on its own, and it could get knocked out with the Twin Needle. So if you think it gets knocked out, all of a sudden it goes into PC, those 7 turns are going to end and you're going to have an ineffective Beedrill doing nothing in that Mega Evolution. So it's a big risk to take, but big effect, and will suit some poison decks that people run and may bring strength to them. We've seen the poison decks slowly die out, I think, but this might be their comeback. Then we've got some rares and uncommons. Now, I wanted these rares to have good power. I want, you know, somebody suggested that they make the rares, give them more, give them different abilities. They make them different, but give them advantages in games, so we see them being used. And Avalugg is one of those. Well, 1 MP, you know, that is, it means it's going to have good attacks, and it does. You know, it has Hyper Beam at 120 attack. With the Evolve, can make it 130. Ice Fang, you know, if it's knocked out, it freezes the opponent. I love that as a cover move. And then it has a huge dodge, huge, 40. So this is a real kind of like holding Pokemon. A huge holding Pokemon. When you put this on your goal, then either when they attack they hit goal, they hit dodge, or they hit a massive Hyper Beam, or they get frozen, and that's a huge risk to take when you're in that position. Additionally, it has Icebreaker. Before using this Pokemon, you can switch its position with an adjacent Ice-type Pokemon or Frozen Pokemon. Your Ice-type Pokemon can move over this Pokemon when using an MP move. Before using this Pokemon, so you could switch out with a frozen opponent, and then maybe would you get this around, or you could switch out. You freeze somebody, switch out to get them behind you, so that they can't. Oh, he could make it really hard for you to unfreeze your figure. But remember, if you get that Mega Charizard evolve, boom, all of a sudden the frozen type Pokemon are healed. Next up we have Pongoro. This Pokemon negates abilities that boost or lower attack damage for your opponent. A nice ability to have. Boost lower attack for your opponent. Is that just for it, or does that apply to everybody? So these Mega Charizard and Mega Beedrill, they're +10s. Are they gonna negate that effect, or is it just against Pangoro? We'll have to check that out. Hammer Arm at 90, fairly alright, but it's not a huge strong attack. Ice Punch, another good cover move that will freeze your opponent. And Parting Shot. This Pokemon may switch with the Pokemon on your bench. The battle opponent now has weight. Not a strong figure in my opinion, but if he does negate the abilities that boost or lower attack damage for your opponent, which I feel like that might do because of his attacks and being quite weak, that could be a nice ability to have. Yeah, huge potentially actually. when you think of like Manaphy's, okay, it'd be a great counter to a Manaphy deck actually, wouldn't it? Because all of a sudden you wouldn't get that plus 20. Interesting. Bergamite. I like that versatility though. Before using this Pokemon, you may move this Pokemon on the bench next to one of your Avalugg on the field. If you do, this Pokemon's MP is 1. Frozen Pokemon next to this Pokemon cannot be tagged. So quite a cool move are in working adjacent with Avalugg. Double Edge, Bite and Ice Fang with the opportunity to freeze again if they're not knocked out. You're looking for the Double Edge really to get that evolve. Not strong, maybe a difficult evolve to pull off. And then finally in the new figures we have Pancham. So if you're looking for that evolve into Pangoro, Pancham's got a good ability to do that. You know, Arm Thrust, you can keep respinning, and the amount of times you spin is times by 30. If you spin more than 3, you get to evolve it. Any more than 2 as well, it cannot be knocked out, which is a really nice cover. Got 50 Karate Chop, and then Parting Shot. The Pokemon we switch with the Pokemon on the bench, and the Podent. Again, now getting to wait for 2-star. That's alright for an uncommon figure actually. It's pretty cool. Then we have the new changes to Giratina, the mighty Rayquaza pulling a huge. I've got to put him in my deck. I feel like it's just insane. Latias with huge attack, Latios with even bigger, Druddigon with Revenge taking to 110 with 2 in the PC, Lapras and Dratini. A lot of ice figures, isn't there? Definitely, it's going to be Ice Dragon is the biggest. So it would be Dragon Ice, Dragon plus 1 MP, Ice plus 20. I'm calling it. That's my prediction. A lot of people are predicting that. Note that the special booster and Tenant booster had different contents. You'll have different odds. A lot less likely to pull on the non-guaranteed booster, with all these EXs of pulling the UX. So that's explained. I think there's only really, you know, we've got the new Legendary League rankings stay the kind of same with that. To play, you have to spend energy now. They've added the league plays to that, which I'm not sure I like that move. I like to grind leagues when I've got free time. So I'm not too happy about that, because it may make it very difficult to play during gyms in terms of having league and gym, and may force you to spend gems, which, you know, we all don't like that. Monthly rankings gives you a nice figure of what your monthly ranking is and where you sit without having to go in. So 1790, and I'm currently 7090th. Finally, I think what we should just look at is room matches. We've got the new different types. We have all unique in this week. I actually missed that, didn't I? I feel like I missed the update on the hall, because that told us the conditions of which room match campaign underway. Yeah, so we missed this. Affected hall, only Atlantis. Rules in effect, no duplicates. Zapdos, Virizion, Reshiram out, and goal block prohibited. So, dueling in the hall will get you hall points. You'll get 20 hall points upon a victory and 4 upon a loss. -2 if your data transmission is interrupted during the play. So -2 points. Hall point rewards you can obtain for 20 points, 5 Carmenite, 50 points, Carmenite times 5, 100 points, 5 Carmenite, 200 points, Dragonair, and 300 points, Carmenite. So, what are we on? I say if we are on, let's check this Carmenite out. Let's just quickly have a room match and see if we get the Carmenite straight away. Right, now we have a playable deck. We can go into the hall and play our first match and hopefully win some Carmenite. Finally, we're in. This is a playable deck. Let's do this. Whew! Excited. We win this, we get 20 points. I'm going to be able to like mad rush with Latias. Should we do a rush, get a fly away? Double chance. What's his deck going to be like? Okay, so he's got... Why did I have to play this guy? This guy's got a crazy deck. It's actually going to be a very difficult match to play. Oh, he's got a max revive. Oh, I'd revive Mew here and put him right next to... Yeah. Damn it! This guy is in my head. This guy is in my head. I haven't reallocated my points to Rayquaza. So that was my first match, and it was insane. The guy had amazing figures, and 3-5-6-3. Yeah, it was a good game. I nearly had him, but I got 4 points. That's just... So for some reason I can't actually play another whole match. I don't know whether I have to wait another amount of time or do something, but I'm going to figure that out and find out what that is. If you do know, let me know. That was a crazy hard match. So it does take 15 energy. Maybe it's a little bit more because obviously it has time to recover once you've pressed it. Maybe probably about either 15 or 20 energy to play those matches. So we might have to like recover our energy quite a lot through gems if we're gonna get a good grind on. So let me know what you guys think of the updates. Are you happy? I am really happy with this update. This has met my expectations and in some places exceeded it. I think it's going to be really exciting. I think we're going to have a lot of good duels. I like the fact that they put restrictions on decks, so we're not going to see the same figures being used, and we're going to see some versatility with people using different figures in games. Zapdos though, I miss him. I miss him already. I feel like he would have been able to kill that game off like poof. He's a good restaurant cover actually, because he's got the fly and the 60 break energy if it goes to 80 covered, but not to be. So that's all from me. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. Look out for videos that I'm going to be putting out on booster pools and playing in the new league and haul. Okay, that's all from me. See you soon.